Yeah, I guess, I mean, one of the cool things that my company does when we get promoted into a clinic director position or any leadership position is a strength finders exam. And
Mm.
so you sit down and you do one of the whole, strength finders score, or not score, that's a study guide, but strength finders assessment. And you kind of, feel what your strengths are, and then, compare them to, say, my patient support lead, and see what her strengths are and where we match up, and what uh, the biggest thing I learned about myself that I kind of started to realize in PT school, and even as I got into the career, is I try to put too much on my plate. I wasn't very good at, delegating. You do task A, I'll do task B. Instead of, it was, I'll take all of it, and then we can just kind of share our information at the end. And just being able to, trust another individual that they're going to show up on time, get the work done. Um, check the patients in, walk them through the door, and be there. I think that you learn a lot about your personality types and what's good for you and what might be slowing you down. And I think one of the things that was slowing me down was I was just trying to do too much.
Mm.
And
And
so being able to, sorry,
I
go
would
ahead.
say, how'd you combat that? Did you start just like throwing tasks? All right, you do that, you do that.
Yeah, just kind of practice as you go. And my mentor, she really helped me set goals. So, being able to sit down and have month-to-month meetings with my boss, and her saying, okay, here's your 2-week goal. Let's write this down. I'm going to check back in with you in 2 weeks, and I want objective data of, what you did and why you did it. And it's kind of just like what we do as PTs, right? A patient walks through the door, we take our subjective, our objective measures, and we set goals. And I think kind of thinking of it that way, in terms of leadership, in terms of delegating tasks, in terms of asking for help, it's write it down, set a goal, check back in with yourself, and have someone hold you accountable. And that's where I've learned a lot, just being able to have someone hold me accountable to say, all right, I need you to do this, and this is what you need to ask person A or person B to do. And if they don't get it done, then you address that. And so then having those one-on-one meetings with, my employees and my teammates, and just saying, okay, this is what we aimed for. This is where we hit. This is where we fell short. What can we do better next time? And always having that, just like we do in PT, test it, treat it, retest it. And that's
Yeah.
what kind of the best leadership skills I've learned is, have a plan, put it in motion. What'd you do at the end?
Have
And
you have you always been like this, or is it just something that you picked up more recently?
I guess I've always had a little bit of that, like to what I do with like studying and things like that. But definitely in the past, 6 months, 8 months of being a clinic director, I've utilized those skills a lot more.
I swear every time I saw you in PT school, you had like a plan, or at least a list of something that you had going on ready to go.
Yeah, I've always kind of been like a big numbers guy and visual objective stuff right in front of me. So I think that was probably part of it. I like the planning, the organization part, but sometimes the execution is, that's the toughest part. It's all good and dandy to write these things down and be good at planning it, but if you don't execute, then it means nothing.
Yeah.
And
For your who do you have working underneath you right now? Are you have PTAs? And
um,
you said you have the part-time physical therapist too, right?
yep. So right now my team is, I have my patient support lead, and I consider her, she's like the front office manager. That's her wheelhouse. She controls everything from the front door to the desk, the insurance. I'm asking her questions most of the time on all that side of the PT aspect. And then I have right now we have just PRN staff like 2 to 3 days a week. So I'm trying to utilize PRN to build a full caseload. And with that PRN, we have a couple PTs and a PTA. So on any given day, I'll have, another license in the clinic with me that can, if it's a PT, I can have them do evals and, cosign notes, things like that. PTA, help them with the, get them the daily visits. And everybody that, works for us is, an A+ player. So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of new faces in the past few months, having different PRNs come in, and all of them have been great, and just transitioning to a good setup to hire a full-time PT this summer.
Yeah. And you've been setting goals for yourself and trying to, you've had your mentor helping you along. Do you set goals for your employees as well? Is that kind of something that you like to build in, and do you talk to them talk to your employees about that?
Yep. So we do pretty much monthly clinic meetings, even though there's just the two of us, we still have it. Every week we do a weekly schedule for success where we just make sure we have, for the next week, we have a good, flow of the day, making sure, if there's a patient that needs to be single booked, they're single book. If we can co-book, where are we going to put a new eval? So I mean, we have our weekly meetings for scheduling for success and flow of the clinic, monthly meetings to reflect on our past month. Okay, which goals did we hit as a clinic? And then kind of one of the things I like to do is each of us have a personal goal. And it could be, this month I want to cook for myself twice a night, or this month I want to, walk a mile a day, something like that. So we've been trying to do little goals like that to just build a better relationship. And then we have quarterly check-ins too. So each quarter we just always want to reflect back on how we're doing, where we're headed, what the year's been like, where we can improve, what we're excelling at. So I think that's one of the best things that we do as a company is having so much time dedicated towards building relationships with your team and making sure we're all on the same page, and we're all always striving to be better that next day, the next week, versus just kind of getting complacent.
Yeah, and Tyler's painting a really good picture of how clinics should be run, essentially. And unfortunately, not all PT clinics are run this way, and not everyone's are setting goals and want to be better and get out in the community and spread the word. So maybe if you're with a PT right now and you don't feel like they're doing a good job, always feel free to reach out to somebody else who may have these kind of actions or at least mindset such as Tyler does, because again, I've, like any profession, there's good PTs and there's definitely some bad PTs out there who may not be as passionate or at least willing to put in the work to make sure that you're doing and your employees are doing better.
Yeah, and that's part of what brought me down here was just the company that I had the opportunity to work with as a student. Really set the bar high for who I wanted to work with and what I wanted out of my work life. And there's certain clinics in the PT world that kind of give us a bad rep, and those PT mills where you go in and there's a couple PTs, a ton of PTAs, a ton of techs, and they're seeing anywhere from 30 to 40 patients a day, and not getting a lot of one-on-one time with your therapist, and it's really just a lot of exercise. And those, I mean, and no shame against that. I've worked in those clinics as a tech, and people still get better. Patients get better. They may not get better as fast as they want to, or may not get the education piece that they need just because there's not the available time to have with a doctor of physical therapy. But what brought me down here was the clinic flow, and having a quota of 10 to 12 patients a day, getting at least 45 minutes to an hour of one-on-one time. And the company that I'm with is really big on manual therapy in conjunction with all our other modalities. So we guarantee our patients, our providers, our referral sources, our physicians that, hey, every patient you send to us, we're going to get our hands on them. We're going to work some manual therapy, work some joint mobilization, soft tissue work, help them decrease pain, show them how to move properly. And I think that goes a long way with building a relationship with the patient, is being able to have physical therapy, just like one of our professors always said, neuro is a hands-on profession. So ortho, cardio, everything that a PT does there should always be some type of hands-on component. That's what our training is in, and that's where I believe we excel. And that's what brought me down here. And I think that's why our clinics have such great success, is because people value those services versus just going in and saying, go get on the bike for 10 15 minutes, do your 3 sets of 10 of clamshells, your squats, some pelvic tilts, up here's a cold pack, and now you're out of here 45 minutes later. And again, sometimes that PT works, and there's no shame in that game. But I think having the one-on-one time and being able to, when you have your hands on patients, you can have that time to talk to them, educate them, what you're doing, why you're doing it, what they can work on. And I hope that the whole PT profession across the states heads in that direction. And that's certainly our goal here in Tennessee.